Greetings. I'm Chris Elkins, and welcome to the Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 edition of the Daily Article Podcast. Today's Daily Article is written by Denison Forum co-founder and CEO, Dr. Jim Denison. Second Lieutenant Thomas V. Kelly Jr. was one of 11 crew members on the B-24 bomber nicknamed Heaven Can Wait. On March the 11th, 1944, their plane was shot down by Japanese anti-aircraft gunners off the coast of the Pacific island of New Guinea. All 11 died. Last spring, a team of elite Navy divers and archaeologists found the crash site and recovered the remains of 3 men. Last Friday, the Defense Department announced that Lieutenant Kelly's remains had been positively identified through dental and anthropological analysis. Divers also found his Army Air Force ring and 2 of his dog tags. In one of the last letters home to his parents, Lieutenant Kelly wrote, "I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I'm just telling you to appreciate what you have. Even if you don't think it's much, it is much. The men fighting here for everyone, they're doing it for your freedom." When I read the story over the weekend, it moved me deeply. I'm emotional again typing these words just now. These days, Americans are disparaging each other more than at any time in my memory. One woman is canceling Thanksgiving and Christmas at her home since her husband and his family voted for Donald Trump. A father is refusing to pay his Trump-supporting son's college tuition. On the other side, rural areas in Illinois, a state with vast swaths of red counties and a few blue cities, are seeking to leave Illinois without moving. Their goal is to redraw state lines to constitute themselves as New Illinois. Conservatives in California, Idaho, and Oregon would like to do something similar. According to a recent poll, young voters overwhelmingly believe that almost all politicians on both sides are corrupt and that the U.S. will end up worse off than when they were born. The lead pollster said, "Young voters do not look at our politics and see good guys. They see a dying empire led by bad people." End quote. I will always remember meeting a veteran whose face and hands were scarred by fire and other wounds sustained in battle. When I thanked him for his sacrifice, he said, "Just make America a country worth dying for." How can we be the nation Lieutenant Kelly was fighting to defend? When my wife and I visited Gettysburg National Military Park, we could feel the ominous and historic weight of the fields surrounding us. We could imagine the cannons as they roared and the soldiers as they fought and died in the Civil War's deadliest battle. On this day in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln spoke at a ceremony to dedicate the Soldiers' National Cemetery on this sacred ground. His brief address has been called the greatest speech in American history. In honoring, quote, "those who gave their lives that our nation might live," Lincoln called Americans to take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, so that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. More than 7,000 men were killed at Gettysburg. More than 1.1 million men and women have died in the service of our country across our history. Now it falls to us, in Mr. Lincoln's words, to highly resolve that those dead shall not have died in vain. Yesterday, I noted if Americans cannot get along, America cannot get along. In a democracy where we vote for each other, hold each other accountable through our elections and legal systems, do commerce with each other, and live in community with each other, divisiveness and divisions threatens our collective future and common good. But disparaging America and Americans does even more. It threatens the cause for which so many Americans have sacrificed so much. Mark Twain observed, "Patriotism is supporting your country all the time and your government when it deserves it." End quote. The bitterness of our political environment transcends appropriate criticism of the government. Many claim that the American project itself is racist and discriminatory to the core. And many see the quote-unquote other side, whoever they are, as evil and dangerous to democracy. This is one place where Christians can and must take the lead. Agape is the Greek word for unconditional love and enables us to love those who hate us and to forgive those who harm us. It is the only kind of love that can heal divisions such as those we face today. And it is uniquely the fruit of the Spirit from Galatians 5, verse 22. When we make Christ our Lord and His Spirit comes to dwell in us, as we read in 1 Corinthians 3, verse 16, we can then manifest this fruit in our relationship with the Lord, our neighbors, and ourselves, according to Matthew 22, verses 37 through 39. And when we love others as sacrificially and fully as we are loved, as taught in Romans 8, verses 35 through 39, hearts are healed, families are mended, and societies are transformed. Edmund Burke was right. Whatever disunites man from God also disunites man from man. However, the converse is also true. Whatever unites man to God unites man to man. Imagine a room whose walls are lined with people. Put a chair in the middle of the room. The closer those in the room draw to the chair, the closer you draw to each other. And when that chair is a throne, and when the King of Kings is reigning there, all of creation will bow. And from Philippians 2, verses 10 and 11, every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. How will you hasten that day today? Listeners like you support Denison Forum's mission to deliver news discerned differently. As a ministry nonprofit, we are fully donor supported. To partner with us, please donate today using the donate link in our show notes.